what's going on? It's MassiveJoes RAW review, and I'm coming to you from MassiveJoes.com. Awesome! Raw review for the viewers at home today on one of the most anticipated lean mass gain protein powders we have seen thus far. It is, of course, MuscleMeds Carnivor Mass in the house. Let's get straight into it, show you guys exactly what's in it, tell you exactly what it's gonna do. That nutritional information panel ain't gonna get it done. We're about to go balls deep in this here MuscleMeds Carnivor Mass. Luckily, got ourselves a big ass nutritional information panel for the viewers at home. Starting from the top, serving size 4 scoops, 185 grams for the full 4 scoop serve. Got yourself about 14 of them 185 4 scoop gram bitches in one of these MuscleMeds Carnivor Mass big tub bitches. In terms of what the 185 grams is made up of, it is a protein powder, it's a mass gainer obviously, so we do have to go through the macros before we get to the nitty gritty. Starting from the top, calories, 720 calories. And just remember, viewers at home, this is for the full 4 scoop serve. 720 calories in that 4 scoop serve. In terms of what the calories are made up of, zoom and focus action, please. There we go. Camera's gonna cooperate with me this raw review. Total fat, you got 2.5 grams, so that's about 1% total fat, of which 1.5 grams is saturated. I will point out that it is completely cholesterol free, no cholesterol in this here carnivore mass. Carbohydrate, you're talking 125 grams, that makes it about 68% carbohydrates by weight, of which 0 grams of sugar, which makes it sugar and lactose free. Mass gainer in the house. Moving right along, you've then got protein, 50 grams, which is about 27% protein by weight. I will also add on this point that there is an additional 6.2 grams of added branched chain amino acids per scoop, which is not included in the nitrogenous protein of the 50 grams. So you're actually getting 50 grams of whole food, whole source protein from the hydrolyzed beef protein isolate. We'll get to that in a second, plus an extra 6.2 grams of BCAAs. So that puts an end straight up to all you motherfuckers that say the carnivore mass is amino spike. This shit ain't amino spike because they're not counting aminos in the nitrogenous protein count in this bitch. Moving right along, well before we move right along, so in terms of ratio of gainer, because that's important to a lot of the viewers at home, so it's 2.5 carb to 1 protein, a 2.5 to 1 ratio carb to protein gainer, and the fat is negligible. It's 1% fat, you can't even count the fat in this particular gainer. Moving right along, you've then got chromium, sodium and potassium. Now the chromium comes from a yeast matrix, we're going to get to that in a second, but there's 200 micrograms total chromium. You got 510 milligrams of sodium and 215 milligrams of potassium. In terms of what it's actually made up of, this is when we're going to go seriously balls deep in this carnivore mass. Fasten your seatbelt, viewers at home, because this is about to get interesting as Starting from the top of the ingredients list, we're talking about what MuscleMeds are calling an iSpike technology. So, if we go through all of the creative, colorful wording and we get into actually what's in it, it's micron particulated maltodextrin with micron particulated waxy maize. That is your carbohydrate source. It's a blend of maltodextrin and waxy maize. Micron particulated means that the particles are very small. Very small particles means greater surface area, means much easier to digest than non-micron particulated maltodextrin and waxy maize. That is then combined, zoom and focus action. That is then combined with the digestive enzymes amylase and glucoamylase. For viewers at home that are not aware of what amylase actually is, it's a digestive enzyme that is responsible for converting starch into sugars. So in other words, complex carbs into simple carbs is probably the easiest way that we can describe that. Amylase is naturally produced in the human body in our saliva. The issue is when you're drinking food, such as a lean mass gainer, you're not chewing it, so your body's not producing saliva as you chew, so your body doesn't produce the amylase to break those starches down into sugar. So MuscleMeds have gone and actually added the digestive enzyme amylase and glucoamylase to this particular protein powder. So when you drink the shit, you've got the amylase in your digestive system to digest the starch into sugar and get it into the bloodstream and into the muscle cells. Moving right along, you've then got what MuscleMeds are calling insulin signal amplifying system. Now this is real cool. It's a combination of a bunch of different bits and pieces. We're gonna go through them real quick. It's Agaricus blase, which is actually a mushroom extract. So it's an extract from a mushroom. That in combination with D-pinitol, 5-hydroxyisoleucine, and the Chromium 454, which we've discussed already. Now what all of these ingredients in combination with each other do, viewers at home, is they increase glucose uptake to muscle cells. So they increase the amount of glucose that goes from the bloodstream. So effectively, you think about it like this. You got the carbohydrates from the maltodextrin and the waxy maize and the carnivore mass. Micron particulates are easy to digest. They get into your stomach, they get broken down by the amylase digestive enzyme from starch into sugars, and then those sugars get sent into the bloodstream, and the insulin mimicking matrix with the chromium and the mushroom extract and the D-pinitol and the 4-hydroxyisoleucine actually allows that glucose to get into the muscle cells where your body can use it for energy. That's effectively what they're saying. So we say it increases glucose uptake to muscle cells. Some other people say that it mimics insulin, so it does what insulin does. The jury's out on whether or not it does that. Let's just say it increases glucose uptake to muscle cells. Moving right along, and that's going to round out the carbohydrate, the 125 grams of carbohydrate aspect of this here carnivore mass. We move on to the protein side of things. So what it is it's the same hydrolyzed beef protein isolate that is found in MuscleMeds Carnivor. So I'm not going to go balls deep into what that is in this raw review because we've already done a raw review on the carnivore. I'm gonna pop a link in the description box and you guys can go and check that raw review out for an in-depth discussion of the hydrolyzed beef protein isolate that is carnivore. What I will say, however, is that it's carnivore, but as part of carnivore, you actually get 5 grams of added creatine monohydrate per 4 gram scoop, so per serve in this carnivore mass. 5 grams of added creatine monohydrate. We've already spoken about the 6.2 grams of added branched chain aminos that isn't counted as protein when you look at the macro breakdown. You there also get on top of that added L-glutamine, and you get what MuscleMeds call the ANRT. I discussed it in the carnivore raw review that you're more than welcome to go check out on our YouTube channel. But effectively what that does is it reduces nitrogenous waste product by recycling protein back into the muscle cells. Moving right along, you've got medium chain triglycerides, which is your source of fats, artificial colors, artificial flavors. And that's what's in it. So it's quite simply, the best way we can put it is a lean muscle gainer that happens to be sugar-free, lactose-free, gluten-free, dairy-free, and cholesterol-free. It's using the hydrolyzed beef protein isolate as the protein source. It's using maltodextrin and waxy maize as the carb source with some bits and pieces that are going to increase the amount of the glucose that actually gets into the muscle cells. Added creatine, added BCAAs, added glutamine. That's probably the simplest way we can describe this carnivore mass in terms of how it tastes, how it mixes. In Australia, in the big tubs, and we're talking these here 6-pound bitches. It comes in 2 flavors. Comes in chocolate, which goes straight to the biceps. Comes in vanilla caramel, which I'm pretty sure is the flavor of the tub I've got here. It is. Vanilla caramel carnivore mass, which I'm happy the fellas put a tub of vanilla caramel, because when I did the raw review on the carnivore, the original hydrolyzed beef protein isolate, they gave me the chocolate, and although it went straight to the biceps, I was always very intrigued to try the vanilla caramel flavor. So let's get to it. We've got the infamous MassiveJoes taste and mixability test about to go down, man. Team MassiveJoes blended bottle. Got our double wall glass up in this bitch. New tub of carnivore mass about to go down, man. Just gonna flick the lid off this bitch. Bro punch. Oh shit, don't have to bro punch the lid in, the lid's stuck to the roof. But that's all good. Check this out, man. What the f is the scoop in this bitch? The scoop should be on top. Ah, it is. I gotta dig a little bit for it, but it ain't too bad. Probably because I was flipping the tub around when I first started, man. Anyway, so what we're gonna do, viewers at home, this is a gainer, and the serves are big, 185 gram serve. It's gonna be difficult to put a full 185 gram 4 scoop serve, and I'll show you the size of the scoop just so you know what we're dealing with here. To put 4 of these bitches, check out the size of that, up in one of these bitches, get water and get it to mix. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna follow true to instructions on the label. So the label says, add 473 ml of water. I don't know what the f that means. Let's just go half a liter of water, 500 mils of water to a shaker bottle and add 4 scoops of carnivore mass. So we're gonna half that. We're doing just under 250 ml of water and we're gonna throw 2 scoops of the carnivore mass. So we can get the consistency right, but we can actually get the shit to mix without having an issue with space in one of these Team MassiveJoes blender bowls. I think if you were to do the full 4 scoop serve, you'd either have to get a blender or do it like we're about to do and do it twice. Anyway, 1 scoop, 2 scoops of carnivore mass. This out the way. It smells very starchy. It's got a very starchy smell to it. And it's very kind of, the texture of it's very like flour. It's very floury, which I guess means, you know, that micron particulated version of the carbs is actually 100. All right, a couple of flicks of the wrist, man. I'm gonna show you guys how it mixes. And I'm gonna refresh my memory how this carnivore mass tastes, man. All right, that's enough. I gave a few more flicks because it is a gainer, so you know the shit's gonna be thick as f. Anyway, check that. Carnivore mass vanilla caramel. Pretty well mixed, I would say. Not too many chunks in there. You're not gonna get floaters or sinkers in a mass gainer. The one thing that you wanna kind of be aware of is chunks, but that seems to be pretty well mixed. It actually hasn't frothed up too badly. Those of you viewers at home who checked out the Carnivore RAW review would know that hydrolyzed beef protein isolate has a tendency to froth. That actually, there's a bit of froth, but it hasn't frothed too badly. That being said, it is a mass gainer. If you would try to mix it up in anything other than a blender bottle or just an outright blender, you would be up shit creek without a paddle. So I would go so far as to say blender bowl is required for this here MuscleMeds Carnivore mass. Let me refresh my memory on how this vanilla caramel tastes, man. Man. God damn. That is some delicious gainer. That's actually left me quite speechless. It's left me speechless and wanting more. That is the best way I can describe that flavor, viewers at home, is that is like drinking melted ice cream. Legit. That is what it tastes like if you left like vanilla and caramel flavored ice cream and let that bitch melt down to the point where it was liquid and you were to drink that bitch. I'm pretty damn sure that's what it would taste like. That is real. Amazing. Vanilla caramel. I really wasn't expecting to do this in this raw review, particularly being a beef protein, but I would go so far as to say in terms of vanilla flavors and in terms of lean gainers, that's got to be the damn best vanilla lean gainer flavor we have seen thus far. I think it is, absolutely. The chocolate is good, don't get it twisted. The chocolate fudge flavor is good. But that vanilla caramel, man, shit. That is amazing. I need to move on because I don't have anything else to say. I really was not expecting that from the vanilla caramel. In terms of the effects. Because let's be real, viewers at home. You all know, because you've seen this shit already, this is one expensive as lean weight gainer, man. I would go so far as to say, for this particular category of lean muscle gainer protein powder, yeah, I would. The most expensive. I don't think I've seen anything per serve that is more expensive than this here carnivore mass. So we're going to talk about, is it worth them extra dollars, man? Is it worth the extra dollars for the carnivore mass? Are you going to get better effects from the carnivore mass than you would a similar lean muscle gain protein powder from a different company? The first thing I'm going to say in terms of the effects is quite obvious. If you are lactose intolerant, gluten intolerant, or dairy intolerant, or you want something that's sugar-free and cholesterol-free, 100%, man, MuscleMeds Carnivore Mass is pretty much the only product on the market that ticks all those boxes. It's definitely the only dairy-free gainer that we have ever seen. And I would go so far as to say probably the only lactose and gluten-free gainer that we've ever seen as well. So if you're trying to tick those boxes, 100% it's worth the money because you can't get that sort of product anywhere else. In terms of if you were to compare it against the effects of a similar gainer protein powder, the things that Carnivore Mass has got going for it is the full serve of creatine monohydrate, the full 5 grams of creatine monohydrate, and the very unique carbohydrate system, and of course the very unique protein system in there. If you're comparing in terms of actual muscle gain, you're comparing beef protein to whey protein, which one's better? Me personally, if you know, dairy intolerance, lactose intolerance aside, I think they're going to get you very similar results. So it comes down to the carbohydrate source of Carnivore Mass versus carbohydrate source of similar gainers from other companies. This is where I would go so far as to say that in terms of carbohydrate source and the insulin mimicking and the glucose uptake and the micron-particulated, the small carbs, and in particular, the adding of the digestive enzyme amylase, which is responsible for digestion of carbohydrates into blood sugar. There's no other enzyme. That is the carbohydrate digestive enzyme. I would go so far as to say that the carbohydrate source used in Carnivore Mass is far superior to other gainers in the same category and the carbohydrate source that they use. Usually they'll use just maltodextrin or they'll use just waxy maize starch and they won't have any digestive enzymes or any insulin mimicking. It's just a source of calories. With Carnivore Mass, you get both those sources of carbs, micron broken down into really small particles, micron particulated, plus the digestive enzymes, plus the insulin. So I would go so far as to say that if you've got the extra coin, the extra cashayola, them extra dollars, and you want to throw some dollars into probably but definitely the most unique gainer that we've ever seen, but probably the most effective lean muscle gainer protein, definitely the most damn delicious lean muscle gain protein powder we have seen thus far, then you got to get yourself some of this MuscleMeds Carnivore Mass. Guys, hit the subscribe button. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, man. Stay up to date with all the latest editions of MassiveJoes RAW Review. And guys, that is MassiveJoes RAW Review on the all new to Australia MuscleMeds Carnivore Mass in the house. Do I get to finish the rest of this shit now? It's actually damn good, man. And I'm coming to you from MassiveJoes.com.